Want to grow your Etsy sales, but you're not sure how to get there? This fast and easy tutorial is going to show you how to grow your Etsy sales faster than ever. Hi, I'm Jess. I've built multiple 6 and 7-figure Etsy stores in various niches, getting sales like these, and learning the ins and outs of Etsy, Amazon, and more. A wild and crazy event led me to start a totally new life traveling abroad, giving me the unique opportunity to step back, work a lot less, and start sharing all of my Etsy insights with you. So hit that subscribe button, grab a pen and paper, and let's jump in. One of the most powerful ways to grow your sales is actually the most simple, but if you don't have a map to where you're going, it's going to take you a lot longer to get there. So this quick video is going to show you how to build a simple plan that will take you from 2K months up to 20K months strategically. Thanks for joining me today. I have a post that I posted in my YouTube community page about a week ago that talks about how to plan your Etsy sales, but I thought that this would be best done as a video where I can really break it down for you because it is super simple and it is a super powerful way to scale your sales dramatically. So if you have not seen my community posts before, I post a lot of helpful stuff in there, and you can just go to my channel page and click on community. All my posts are going to be in there, and I try to have tips and things that will help you as an Etsy seller at least a couple times a week. So definitely make sure to check that out. And if you're not already subscribed, subscribe so that you can see those pop up in your feed. But just to take today's video one step further, I have actually created a spreadsheet of this planner, and I have added it into my Etsy Seller Success Workbook. So I sell this actually on my resources page. It's not very expensive. It costs less than a typical trip to Starbucks. So check that out. There's a lot of value in this workbook in terms of tracking your sales and profits and really breaking down how much money you're making on your particular listings. And there's some competitor research stuff in here for you as well. But now it also has a growth planner. If you don't have this workbook or you don't want to buy the workbook, no big deal. You can do this on a spreadsheet. It is really not that complicated. It just takes a little bit of time. So we're going to actually go over this process right now. So the first thing you're going to want to do is figure out what your current monthly sales are. And you can see that directly in your Etsy dashboard. In your seller stats, it will tell you, if you look at your 12 months of previous Etsy sales, what your sales are, and you can divide that to get a pretty decent idea of what your average monthly sales are. So for example, if I have a total number of sales of $150,000, there's 12 months in a year, so I will divide that by 12, and it will tell me that my average monthly sales is $12,500. Let's go with a lower number just because the math is easier this way. So let's say you have a current monthly sales of $2,400. The next thing you want to look at and figure out is how many Etsy listings do you have? You can write that down on your spreadsheet. If you have 300 listings, write that down. If you currently have 1,000 listings, write that down. We're going to go with 300 again because it's easy math. So if you're doing this on your own spreadsheet, you can start with these numbers here and just follow along with this video and make sure that your numbers match mine. And once you're done with that, you can change them to what your actual sales are. That's probably the easiest way I would go about building this if I was starting from scratch. So now that we know our current monthly sales and our number of listings, we can see that we have an average listing value of $8. Now, of course, some listings sell, some listings don't, some are going to sell a lot more than others, but this just looks at everything on an average baseline view. And really, I have chosen to break it down this way because we don't know as we're building new listings which ones are going to become hits and which ones are not. We may have an idea, and we're obviously making listings because we think they're going to hopefully sell great, but some will and some won't, and that's just a fact of life. So I broke it down equally so that we can just see in general what our average listing value is. So If you want to follow the step-by-step of this as well in a written format, because some of us like to see things written out instead of being verbally explained, I do have this step-by-step right here in my community page. So don't be afraid to jump over there and take a look at that if that's easier for you to follow along with. Now that we know we have an average listing value of $8, we can start planning for the future, right? So we can decide how many sales we would like to have. What is our desired amount of monthly sales? So let's say that since today is May 9th, let's say that by July 1st, I would like to have increased my sales to $2,800 a month. So we're going from 24 to 2,800, and I want to do that in 2 months' time on average. This little doohickey here, this little table, is going to tell me that I need about 350 listings in order to reach that goal. How did I figure that out? So what you're going to want to do is take our desired income amount, so $2,800, and I'm going to jump around here so hopefully you can follow along, and I apologize in advance if this gets a little crazy for the eyes, but that $2,800 divided by our average listing value of $8, and that tells us we need 350 listings. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Now, this spreadsheet that I've created for you in the Seller Success Workbook will also tell you how many days and how many weeks you have to accomplish this goal. And it will tell you how many new listings you need to make each week to hit that number by. So if I want to hit 350 listings by July 1st, I need 6.6 new listings a week added to my shop. So the easiest way to figure that out is to look at your calendar and see how much time you have between now and the date of your goal. So if my desired goal is July 1st, I'm going to open my calendar and I'm going to see how many days or how many weeks do I have until July 1st. And I'm going to count those up. And then I'm going to take my number of listings. So I need 350 listings minus the 300 listings that I already have. So that's 50 new listings. I need 50 new listings divided by, we'll say 7.5 weeks because you're not going to be doing exact math. And that gives me 6.6 new listings a week. So super simple. This is not complicated math. The cool thing is that this gives us our goal so that we know what we need to do. We know how much work we need to put in to realistically hit our goal. And I think for a lot of us, we struggle because we have an idea of where we want to be, but we're not quite sure how to get there. So this is something that I have used over the past 15 years or whatever to create my personal goals. And it actually used to be a lot more simple. It was just looked like basic numbers on a spreadsheet, nothing fancy. But it helped me really visualize where I wanted to be. Now, just to make that a little bit simpler here, I have your monthly growth forecast on here as well. I can't walk you through the math on this one, so I apologize in advance. It's a little bit more complicated than this video allows for. But what it does is you can actually enter your monthly sales here and enter your approximate profit margin. If you don't know what your profit margin is, that's okay. You can find that out right here. Or you can find that out on the sales overview page, is probably a little easier. Just go into your Etsy dashboard and write down what your sales and your fees were. If you had any marketing costs, if you have any product costs or shipping costs and any other expenses, it will break down what your profits and your profit margins are for you. Easy peasy. So you come back to the growth planner, type that in, and then you can choose how fast you want to grow. A realistic growth rate month over month is about 10% a month. In some niches, you can grow a heck of a lot faster. If you take the time to fill this chart out on the sales and profits page or on the sales overview page, it will tell you your profit margin each month. And if you look at the bottom here, it will actually tell you your average monthly growth rate is 20%. So coming back to the growth planner, I can actually type in 20% here because that's what I have been growing on average each month for the last year. What that does is it tells me what my sales and profits are estimated to be for the months going forward. So I can see that approximately 1 year from now, in 12 months, my sales will have grown to 21,398. And that is just applying a standard 20% growth rate month over month to my store. Keep in mind, to make that happen, you need to add new listings and you need to do the things to grow your shop. You can't just let all of your listings sit there and do nothing new because your growth rate will be a lot slower. But if you're actively working on growing your shop, you can continue your growth rate of 20% and see where you're going to be in a year. As you go through these months, you can type in what your actual sales were for the month, and the chart will tell you if you're ahead or behind your goal. And that's a fun but very simple way to see if you're ahead of pace or behind pace. If you need to hustle a little bit harder and get a few more listings up 1 week or 2 weeks to make up for the vacation you took last month, no big deal. It just helps you see where you are and know where you're at in terms of hitting those goals. So I wanted to go over this really quickly and help you really get a good idea of how to grow your store and really take charge of your own sales growth. And of course, I have this listed out right here in my community page. So if you want to make this on your own spreadsheet, you definitely can. It is worth it. It is such a valuable skill to be able to write out your goals and really visualize and see the numbers on the page. So goals that are written down are approximately 42% more likely to be accomplished, literally just by writing them down. So take the time to fill this out. Take the time to write out your goals and plan out how you're going to reach them. It only takes a few minutes and it is so worth it. Please comment below if you have any questions, and don't forget to go to the link in the description below and check out all my freebies and check out this workbook. And when you're done figuring that out, make sure you go and watch this next video that has some very smart tips for how to increase sales on listings that are not selling so well, so that you can get sales rolling on those listings and really improve your monthly sales and take your growth through the roof. So make sure to check that out next.